Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Engineering and Manufacturing T-level webinar. Just waiting for some more attendees to come and join us, so we'll start shortly. Thank you. So the webinar today is regarding the Engineering and Manufacturing T-level, and it's going to be an overview for new providers. If you're previously not engaged with us, then please stay on the line. If you've already done so some of this content may be still familiar to you. We're just showing the progress of where we are going with the manufacturing T-level. So using the webinar today, any questions, if you can send it directly through the questionnaire in the chat area. At the end of the webinar, we'll go through the questions and answer directly onto the screen. Set you all onto mute, but again, if you want to speak to us direct, then please raise your hand and I can unmute you at the question and answer session. And then after this webinar, we will be sharing the resources with you. So the PowerPoint presentation, recording of this session, and also a CPD certificate as well. You may hear some background noises as we're working from home, so I do apologise in case my two dogs will bark, but hopefully that nobody should be disturbing us on this event today. So I'm Samantha Ashman, one of the technical advisors here at City & Guilds, and I've been working close with the T-level. And also within the engineering manufacturing T-level team, we've also got a variety of different people online as well. So we've got Simon York, who's our lead technical advisor, but that's looking after the apprenticeships, endpoint assessment and qualifications. We've also got Alison Whittle, who's our technical advisor, who looks after the post-16 and been working closely with our HEIs. And then from the industry managers experts, we've got Robert Stott, who's also been working closely with the employers regarding the T-level and thinking about progression and industrial placements. And then we've also got Scott Wilkins, who also looks after the apprenticeship, endpoint assessment and qualifications as well. In addition to this, because we're working in collaboration with EAL, we've also got Michael Scarrett, who's our product specialist as well. And Michael's on the call today. So the agenda. So the agenda today is just a brief welcome. What about the T-level it is, the engineering and manufacturing pathway, the core, the occupational specialism, the guided learning hours and the funding bands of where this T-level will fit. And just a quick overview regarding the industrial placement. We have been working closely with the Institute, so we'll be talking about the higher education and progression for learners and what we feel at City & Guilds EAL is a good route. How we can support you providers on the next step. So what's our next steps and resources availability? And at the end, we've got questions regarding anything that you may see within this presentation. So on the slide, you can see is how do T-levels compare? So within the overview of the T-level, we've got the A-level, we've got the apprenticeship level 2 to 3, and then in the middle, we've got this T-level. The T-level is going to be based on a 2-year technical program at a local college or school or classroom training provider. And again, this is going to be 80% in the classroom and 20% in placement. And the industrial placement is to build on their attitudes and behaviours, just like their knowledge, skills and behaviours in the apprenticeship. For learner going to apprenticeship, you've got that level 2 or level 3 with the work-based training, and to the opposite to a T-level, you've got 80% on the job and 20% off the job. And then the A-level route, standard subject-based qualifications, 2 years at local college or school. So this is where the T-level fits in between those. And then from this, we can see that the following possible progressions is higher education, employment, progression onto an apprenticeship or an accelerated apprenticeship, or the higher degree apprenticeship. So that's how the T-level is going to be fitting into the actual content. So a lot of people ask us, what is the difference between a T-level for an apprenticeship? So the T-levels has been designed by standards from the apprenticeship standards. So the occupational specialist is going to be based around some of those standards that I identify for engineering. With the T-level, the learner's not being paid for their work placement. However, the apprenticeships are paid, and it's the occupation that they want to pursue in. With a T-level, we've got that larger classroom based and with an industrial placement at the end, where apprenticeship is the opposite. The T-level itself, we've got broader course content. So in other words, in the first year, we've got a very broad engineering content, and then we can specialise into the areas in the second year. And with a T-level, it's the new golden standard in technical education. So in other words, it's going to be the course of the future. And this is due to the level 3 reforms as well. So what we've got for our engineering and manufacturing T-level programme is it's been split into 2 different areas. So we've got the core, which is 50% of the total qualification time. We'll go over that in a little bit more detail. And that is graded on the A star to E. We've got paper 1, which is our maths and science. And we've also got paper 2, which is our engineering concepts. And in addition to that, we've got an employer Sept project. The employer Sept project is designed and developed between City and Guilds and EAL, and then validated by employers. And all that lot is externally set and marked. We then got the occupational specialism, which is based on those occupational maps that the Institute produce. And again, that is marked as pass, merit and distinction with a practical assessment at the end of it. To include the T-level, we've got to making sure that we've got that industrial placement. So minimum of 45 to 60 days, and that can be done over 2 employers. And currently the DFE has been looking into that it could do into a hub. So for example, construction's got a construction hub. So if you've got an engineering hub, the learner could do their industrial placement there as well. They must be working towards maths and English at GCSE grade 4 or functional skills at level 2. And they also then got employability, enrichment, pastoral care and requirements as well. So that's how the T-level will be over a 2-year programme. And again, it's going to be equivalent to 3 A-levels. And regarding that as well, we do get the UCAS points attached to it. So those learners who want to progress to higher education or onto a higher degree of apprenticeship, they've got that opportunity as well. So a T-level course, it's 2 years, and as I've previously said, so the 8%, as we were saying, are up to 1,400 hours, is the technical qualification. So we've got the core, the occupational specialism, the English and maths, and any other requirements. And then that 20% is split into the industrial placement. So where they're learning their technical skills and knowledge, practical skills for employment, and meaningful contribution in the workplace. So as you can see, that's how the 80-20 split is on this T-level course. So with engineering, we've been looking at it for some time now, and this is what the T-level, well, as you may see, some draft specifications on our website, and this is what it's looking at. So the engineering core component, which has got 17 units within that core component, and all learners who's doing any different pathway will study those 17 units. And we'll talk about those in a bit more detail at our next webinar. The pathways the learner can choose from is either design and development, maintenance, installation, repair, or manufacturing process control. And it's one occupational specialism within that pathway. So now we're just going to have a look at those pathways in more detail. So for design and development for engineering and manufacturing, we've got mechanical engineering, electronic engineering, control instrumentation, and structural engineering. And those, if you've been on the Institute website and downloaded the original content from these have not been changed from the original outline from the route panel. So this is how it was set in the beginning, why it was being developed. If you look at maintenance, installation and repair pathway, we've got mechanical, mechatronics, electrical and electronics, control instrumentation, and light and electric vehicle. Previously in this pathway, we did have energy and utilities, and that has been paused. So this will no longer in this T-level route currently. And also within that T-level route pathway, we had vehicles, not light and electric vehicles. And with discussion with the Institute, and also making sure that the content is fit for purpose and looking towards the future, we've now revamped it to light and electric vehicles. So making sure that this qualification is also future-proof as well. So we're looking at engineering manufacturing process control now. And at the top, you can see the regional occupational specialisms. So we have production, manufacturing, processing, and materials. Due to consultations with our SMEs, employers, providers as well, the guided learning hours for each of those was going to be a lot. You're looking at over 2,500 hours for one particular occupational specialism. Unfortunately, you as providers, you can't deliver that time in a 2-year program. So we were then working with the Institute and making sure that we had something that was more appropriate. So with consultations and working closely with EAL, who's been working on this pathway, we then proposed new occupational specialisms. So we've got machining and tool making, fitting assembly, composite manufacturing, and fabrication and welding. There's also one there called process technology in the original occupational specialism. That has also been paused. We've been having a meeting with the Institute regarding this, and again, that is still being paused, and it won't be released in the September 2022 when it's been released. So as you can see, we've now been revamping these qualifications to make sure they are future-proof for engineering. So the guided learning hours for this TQ. So at the beginning, I said it has to be a 50-50 split, and we can see now that it is going to be 680 on the core and 680 on the occupational specialism, and that's across all 3 pathways. So that gives you 1,360 hours to deliver this qualification. And again, 3 A levels is roughly about 1,080 hours. So it's roughly between a 3.5 A level qualification. So what does that mean regarding funding for providers? So the funding band for this T level is going to fall into band 8, which is a large T level. And again, we're still waiting for confirmation to making sure, but as we know it now, we still let it fall into that large band T level. So therefore, over a 2-year programme, providers are going to receive £11,168. If you pull that into delivery hours and plus that employability enrichment pastoral hours, it's roughly going to be 755 hours per week. On an average 36-week delivery, some centres may do 34. It's going to be roughly a T-level learner study on this programme at 21 hours a week. So roughly between 3 to 4 days in centre. That doesn't exclude any maths and English. So if they've not got the entry requirement for their maths and English, then we'll have to do that on top as well. You get your additional hour funding for your maths and English, and that's £750 payment per subject over 2 years. And that's to the current funding amount. And again, additional hours and funding will be for industrial placement and the employability enrichment and pastoral hours. So again, it's coming into a large T level, which we expect for this content in engineering. And we feel that it's around the hours that we should be delivering for this programme as well. Compared to the other T levels, it is a longer duration and longer hours, but again, the content is being designed so it does cover that actual higher funding band. So I'm just going to talk about industrial placement. So every T-level learner has got to do an industrial placement, and it's for approximately 45 days. It can last longer, and it's up to yourselves as providers to make sure that you're working in collaborative with employers to have that industrial placement. So far, what we've been doing when we're working with our employers at our EIB boards, so employer engagement boards, we've been asking those employers to reach out to providers in those local areas to see if they can take on a T-level learner. And this is starting from September 2022. We've also, in part of this industrial placement, the learner needs to complete necessary paperwork and planning as well. And it also then gives some support of how to design that industrial placement as well. The SFA and the National Apprenticeship Service are also working with employers and providers on how they will complete this industrial placement. And there's also some updates regarding the industrial placement policy from March 2021. And again, there's some links at the end of this presentation regarding how to access industrial placement links. So as you can see on the screen, we've got a screenshot of where you got this T-level industrial placements delivery guidance, and you can click on that link when you get the PowerPoint slides. So industrial placements is time that the learner will spend learning in the organisation, making a meaningful contribution to that organisation, developing practical and technical skills. It's been a requirement since September 2022, and all learners on a vocational programme. Currently, there's an incentive payment of £1,000 for employers who deliver T-level learners, and they can have up to 10 learners, and that's between May and the 31st of July 2022. I know this doesn't come into the engineering T-level, but we're still discussing with the Institute and the government to see if this incentive payment can continue. And then what we've been talking to employers about, they've been saying that they can offer industrial placements such as block releases, day releases, or mixture, and then sharing the placement with part of another employer as necessary. So that just gives you an overview of what the industrial placement is. The AOC has created some lovely resources, as you can see now on the screen. Again, if you click on that link, you get all these different resources. And what they've got providers as well as employers of how to plan engagement before placement, what a student needs to do, and during the placement as well. And they've got different tools and templates as well. The AOC is also running different events as well, but these are really good toolkits that's made available to start the learner on their placement. So what we're going to do now is going to talk a little bit about the higher education and progression, and what does this mean to the engineering and manufacturing T-level. So part of the engineering manufacturing T-level, we have been engaging with different types of university groups, so such as the Russell Group, Institute of Education, University Vocational Award Councils, etc., to making sure that this T-level is going to be fit for purpose. And currently on the Engineering Manufacturing HEI board, we have got 8 HEIs who's been engaged with us from the beginning while we've been developing this T-level. And Alison Whittle is the one who's been working closely with our HEIs. What we've done, we've presented to several occasions to the Russell Group networks regarding T-levels and how it's suitable into different progressions. We've also discussed with them directly the different types of UCAS tariffs and the entry requirements into a higher education course. And we've also been working with a variety of different people at the universities as well, such as admissions, admission managers, teen academics, and anyone who else is involved in university entrance. We feel that this engagement and this link with the university has worked really well, and the content in this T-level for the engineering and manufacturing in the course, the maths and the science, is being designed to making sure that a learner can progress onto a university course if they wish to. So in addition to that HEI guide engagement, we've also then thinking how this T-level will be graded, and then also what the UCAS points will show. So a T-level learner will receive a certificate that's such as on the board, and that will be issued by the Education Skill Funding Agency, the ESFA, not us at City and Guilds or EAL. And the learner will get a breakdown of a pass, merit and distinction. The T-level certificate will also include a separate grade for the core. So that's using that A-level grading of A star to E. A separate grade for the occupational specialism, how they've worked, past, merit and distinction. The grade for the maths and English, if they've studied any further or what they're coming entry. If they've completed the industry placement, who, with and what the duration is. And if there's any mandatory requirements, such as doing additional qualifications on top, then that will be also added to that certification. A T-level learner who does not complete some of that element will then get a statement of achievement. So in other words, show which parts they have completed. So in other words, a T-level learner, if they've done a 2-year program and couldn't meet the, for example, the industrial placement, then they'll just get the statement of achievement. So hopefully then that will then be able for that learner to progress further, such as employment or universities, etc. So it's not all bad for this T-level learner. So the UCAS points. And this is across all T-level programs. So if a learner got the core component grade of an A star, and then did the occupational specialism grade of a distinction, then they will come out of a distinction star. And a distinction star on the UCAS tariff point scale is 168. And that's equivalent to A star, A star, A star at A level. So those universities offering that entry requirement at A levels at A star, A star, A star, a learner needs to get roughly around 168 UCAS tariff points. Again, if a learner got a core component grade of a grade D and the occupational specialism as a merit, they come out with a pass. And then the pass is at 96, between 96 and 72. So if you come out with a D grade on the core, it's at 72 UCAS points. And if they get that to a C, they come at 96. And that will give you A-level equivalents of DDD or CCC. So as you can see, the table there showing how the grades are mapped and how the overall grade comes across on the T level. So while we've been working with universities, we've been thinking about progression and where this T-level learner who wants to go to university, doesn't want to go into employment, but wants to further their careers, may want to go to. And these are the potential progression routes that we can see for HE. So working with those universities and talking to them directly on our HEI board, we have found out that some universities will offer a foundation year. And there's some selected foundation years programs on there. And some universities will offer a degree course, so direct entry onto a degree. It all depends on their entry requirements and their admissions requirements as well. So these are some of the selected programs that a T level on this engineering manufacturing T level route could progress into. Maybe more than that, but this is what we've been working with our HEIs. And as you can see, there is a variety of different occupational areas that a learner could go into. So part of our discussion with the Institute, we've been thinking about the routes, the potential progression routes into an apprenticeship or higher education. So we're now going to look at design and development pathway. So as you can see, there's some degrees on there across all the occupational specialisms, and then you see the level 3s or level 4s. They are apprenticeships. So mechanical engineering on the apprenticeship of engineering design and draftsperson route at level 3. And we have been pushing forward to the Institute that this area becomes an accelerated apprenticeship. So in other words, reduce the duration of the time to complete the apprenticeship, which means that they also reduce the funding as well. So when you think of it, we have got these opportunities for this learners to progress further for the design and development pathway. These are not set in stone yet. We've had a meeting about 3 weeks ago with the Institute discussing different maps and occupational maps. are now waiting for the next stages. But this is what we at City and Guilds and EAL are thinking regarding progression routes. So for the maintenance, installation and repair pathway, we've got a couple of level 3s and level 4s. We still haven't eliminated the degree route. The degree covers across all pathways. Well, these are some of the extended apprenticeships that we can think regarding these areas. And some of the content within this T level has been taken from these apprenticeship pathways as well. So, for example, if a learner's on the light and electric vehicle programme, they may want to go to accident repair technician at level 3. That means we would like this to be an accelerated apprenticeship with the duration reduced, and as well as that, funding has also been taken into consider as well. And again, a learner who wants to be gone to electrical and electronic occupational specialisms might want to go into the maintenance operations engineering technician on the MOE standard. And again, duration reduced as well as funding as well. So these are types of the accelerated apprenticeships that we've been talking with the Institute about. We then do have our engineering manufacturing process control pathway. And since we've now revamped that pathway to be more towards the occupational specialisms and occupational standards for apprenticeships, we can offer a variety of different pathways and accelerated apprenticeships in there. It also making sure that that learner who does that, for example, composite manufacturing, can go into different routes as well. So again, these will be the accelerated apprenticeship route with the duration reduced. And again, we're still waiting for the Institute to making sure that these are signed off. So this is the types of progressions that we see are potential for a T-level learner completing the engineering and manufacturing route. So how do we support you at City and Guilds and EAL? So we have got blended approach to communication. So you've got a dedicated technical advisor who's been working on this T level, myself, who can communicate you regarding information regarding what's happening, what's being addressing, etc. We've also got provider networking events, what's coming up. So currently next week I'm with a college doing a online event regarding the T level and how to implement into curriculum. So we've got some of those types of events for one-to-one centres that we can put in place. If you sign up onto our webinar, we've got the e-bulletins and regular email updates that will go through. So the last e-bulletin came out last week, and then we've got some new e-bulletin updates coming out in December. And then we've got across both websites, so City and Guilds and EAL, we've also got the website as well, so to find your information. So as I previously said regarding the support and guidance, we've got the engineering and manufacturing on the City and Guilds homepage, and this is where if you click on the link on here, the link on that part there, you can see that it is for directly links to the thing. So when you do get these presentation slides, you just click on that link and directly onto our website. And here we've got our web page for T levels and timelines, provider focus groups, employee industrial boards, e-bulletins that were previously released, so you can have a look at how we've been communicating to providers and as well as employers. Our draft specification, and again, your dedicated technical advisor for this T level. So the draft specifications, they are live on our website. It's took us some time to get this onto from the Institute, but again, we have got them live. Again, they are not being signed off yet. So we will hoping that they will be signed off around about the 5th of November. But we're still communicating that directly with the Institute. The outline content and the units, etc., they won't be changing. It would just be the indicated content, such as what the learners need to learn, a bit more about the range and stuff like that. So if you click on these links on here, if you click on that link, you go directly to the specification and installation repair pathways, and the manufacturing process control, and through that draft specification link as well. We've got this provider validation board, and it was originally set up for providers working on T levels, but now, because we're now into delivery or development, from final development to implementation of T levels, then we're hoping that this provider validation board will go across all other programs that we do offer as well. So if you want to get engaged with us, then also do contact us regarding the validation board. Down at the bottom of that website page, you've got this sign up to receive emails, and that's where you'll get our regular e-bulletin that will come through. So to help you guys plan for your countdowns, we've created this 12-month countdown timeline for providers, and it's going to tell you what's happening each month. And again, click on that link and you will be able to see directly to that PDF file that we've got. So September, October, we released our quarterly e-bulletin and our HEI guide and our learner flyers now on our website. And I'll show you, and the next slide is our learner flyer. Today, this month, is our refresher webinar about the T level itself. And then in November, we're going to have some familiarisation events to give it a provide eye-level overview of the TQ. We pushed it into November because of, again, we want to making sure that we can tell you providers the proof of what the institute has signed off. Then December, we'll release our quarterly e-bulletin. And then into January, we'll talk about each occupational specialist in a high-level overview, and as well as that approval support webinar for those to be approved to deliver T levels and how to be approved through us at City and Guilds. Then February onwards, we've got some curriculum planning events and also Ask a T-Level Expert drop-in session as well, so you can come and speak to us at anything you need. We're hoping to do regional networks events around about April, May time, but again, if you would like face-to-face with centres, please get in touch. I have to come to your centre and deliver that part as a face-to-face event, not a problem at all. If you want to discuss anything other than the T levels, and again for face-to-face centre events, and do get in touch as well. We're here to support you. So we've got our learner flyer, 3 pages, because we have to have a lot of content for engineering. So again, you click on this link and you can download that T-level learner flyer. You can share that with at open evenings. You can print it out as many times as you want. This is what we put together here at City and Guilds and EAL to making sure that the learner has a full understanding of what the T level is all about as well. So what do we have coming soon? So we've got some resource development sessions coming up. We've got some curriculum planning support session as well. And the workshops coming from around about November, December time is about regarding the core, including the employer Sept project and the occupational specialism. We will then have some sessions regarding support for the examination component, so those 17 components, which we can discuss that in our next event. We've got face-to-face events planning across. So again, if you want to go directly into your centre, then please come and speak to us. Ask the T-level experts question session. So anything to do with T-levels, and come and speak to us. It's just been approved today, so there will be a registration link coming out to you all. But on the 10th of November at 2 o'clock, from this webinar, we've got a high-level overview of the TQ. So this is where we will talk about the core content in more detail. What are the topics within the core content, how it's been split, how it will be assessed over the examination period, the weightings, and also some sample examples of the exam papers as well as what we've submitted to the Institute. So please get yourself registered for that event. As well as on the 10th of November at 9:30, we've got employers who are new to T-level. So ideally for those employers who want to get engaged regarding industrial placement or want to come and join us on the Employee Industrial Board, ideally to come and join that event, and registration link for that event as well at 9:30 on the 10th of November as well. So to support the providers in development, we've got a lot of websites that's been available to you. T-level industrial placement guys, these were updated on 5th of July. Anything what gets updated, we will then sort of talk to you direct and making sure on that part. We've got the T-level government funded website and the funding and transition program. So if you think about a transition program for 2022, and what type of transition programs made available, again, here at City and Guilds, we have got our own transition program. So if you would like to get in touch with us regarding what type of transition program we're offering, then please do. Strategic development networks, that's what's been set up to deliver webinars regarding T-level industrial placements. And then the ETF Foundations is also producing training sessions as well for providers, introducing T-levels, etc. as well. So you click on their link as well. And then if you are part of the Northeast, we've got the Northeast Leap, and they've got an event on the 7th of December, where myself will be talking to the Northeast providers regarding T-levels as well. So again, there's lots of different events what's going off regarding T-levels to keep you all informed. So in addition to this, here at City and Guilds, we're recruiting for associates. So these are T-level roles, so T-level moderators, principal moderators, associate and T-level associates, EQAs, lead EQAs, internal independent EQAs as well. So if you fancy working for us at City and Guilds and being associate, then please click on that link below. We've got a lot going in engineering at the minute. As you can see, with the T-level being so successful, we've recruited we need to recruit a lot of engineers to help us on our current development as well. So those who's interested in becoming an associate with us at City and Guilds, you can click on that direct link as well. So I'd like to say thank you for joining us on our webinar. It's been much appreciated. And I'm just going to go through the questions in the chat that's come through while we've been talking. So let's go. So first question is, hi, if progression for repair and maintenance onto a level 3 apprenticeship, and this is a level 3, why would a learner do this program? What's the logistics? So the level 3 progression onto apprenticeship is for those learners who ideally would like to know what type of occupational they would like to go into. So because the T level gives a broad overview of maintenance in electrical, maintenance on vehicles, maintenance on control instrumentation, it doesn't actually know about what the learner is doing through the apprenticeship route. So if they would like to progress onto the apprenticeship and to get that full experience and become a maintenance engineer in electrical and get that fully time-served qualification, then that's why we've got that progression route as well. With a T level as well, it's also to show the learners understanding. They may not understand what they want to do in a career-wise. So where a learner at 16 may want to become a vehicle technician, for example. So that's why that progression, that accelerated apprenticeship being made available. I hope that will answer your question. So next one is, when will the specifications will be finalised? So the specifications hoping to be signed off by the 5th of November. Hopefully from there, we will then move across and they will then, from saying draft on the screen, it will say approved. So we're hoping roughly around about 5th of November. Any updates, we will inform all providers through our direct communication. So the number one question is, also for repair and maintenance light electric vehicle, after completing this T-level, will the learner be full-fledged qualified as technician? Does the T-level enable entry onto the MOT qual after sufficient time in industry? Oh, that's a question and a half for that one. So with the T-level for electric maintenance light and electric vehicle, they are not going to be fully competent in that area. They are going to be something what we call threshold competence, which means they've got the experience of using and fault finding diagnostic, but they still need that additional knowledge, skills and behaviours to complete to be fully competent vehicle technician. It does enable, depends on what the MOT qualification guidance time and sufficient time in industry, which is why we are discussing with the Institute directly about it. And then we've also making sure that we can add that directly to the qualification as well. So really it's just to making sure that we can see what type of it is put through, and also how that part of that light and electric vehicle maps to the occupational specialism as well within the maintenance light technician specialism. And we will be doing these occupational maps, and we're working close with the Institute, so there should be some nice mapping going ahead as well. Hope that helps. Next question. We are a grade 1 Ofsted provider in engineering in the North East. Is it too late to deliver from September 2022? Oh, I had this question yesterday on an email. What I recommend you do, if you go, sorry, that's my dog barking. If you go directly onto the government website, type in approved providers for T levels in September 2022, it will then send you directly to an ESFA application form. What I recommend you do is that you email the ESFA direct and see if you can then be approved to deliver from September 2022. There is only a selected one. Currently there's 96 that's been selected to sign up to deliver this T level from September 2022. So what I will do is just get directly in touch with ESFA straight away to see if you're on that list or not. Hope that helps. And last one I've got, there seems to limit progressive university courses. How many universities signed up so far? That is a question. We are currently only working with 8 HEIs, and again, one of them is a Russell group. We are in communication across all the groups. Alison Whittle, who's our 16 advisor to the university, she has been working close with those. What we can do regarding that progression to university courses, we can get yourself in touch with Alison Whittle, and the email address was on our slide, and she will then be able to speak to you directly regarding what universities signed up to and what are the progressions as well. I hope that helps. Next one will be, how will occupational specialists impact on progression to unit in a situation where a provider cannot apply work placement in that field? Right, so the DFE has been working with closely regarding industry placements, and what they are saying now, if a learner does, for example, a T level in maintenance, installation and repair, and their occupational specialist is control instrumentation, and they cannot find a placement in control instrumentation, as long as they're meeting their requirements of their knowledge, skills and behaviours within the occupational area, then that learner will then fulfill, get it right a minute, fulfill their work placement section within that T level. So all I can say regarding that is check on the DFE website regarding progressions on placements, and I hope that helps as well. So that comes to the end of questions. Any questions before we sign off, or anyone who wants to come on screen, you can raise your hand and talk to us. Or if not, we will leave that at the end. Oh, one more coming through. Here we go. Will learning progression onto an apprenticeship be able to start at level 4? Gail, yes, we have been talking with the Institute regarding that. The Institute has identified, sorry about that, Institute level 4, 5, 6s and 7s in apprenticeships on these occupational maps. We are going to, so that's what we're currently discussing at. Again, Once we've approved and signed off these occupational maps with the Institute, then we will be able to release these to providers to show that a learner can then progress onto a level 4. Hope that helps. Can we have a copy of the presentation at the end? Yes, of course you will. You'll get a copy of the recording, you'll get a CPD certificate, and as well as that, you'll also get a copy of the presentation as well. And if not, you'll get a direct email from myself as well for saying thank you for joining us today. Any more questions? We're coming to the end. Yes, of course you can. Yes, you can email me for questions at later time. That's not a problem. I'm here to support you and throughout the journey. And also I can come and visit your centre as well to talk about T-levels. That's not a problem. My email addresses will be on the presentation slide, but also you can then contact me later on as well. If you go onto the if you don't get the email address afterwards, go directly onto the City and Guilds website and type in technical advisors, and you'll see my name and my email address on there as well to contact us. That's not a problem. So, any more questions before we go? Nope. Well, I'd just like to say thank you for joining us. It's been much appreciated. And we'll see you at our next webinar on the 10th of November. Thank you very much.